Hi everyone, I'm Mishka and welcome back to my channel. In today's episode of Our Life Beginnings and Always, we are going to be starting... excuse me, I just had breakfast, so I might burp a little bit. But yeah, we are going to be starting the step 3 moments, and we're going to be starting with hang, so... yeah, before we get started, make sure to subscribe button and share it to your friends so then they can have amazing challenges here right now. So, yeah, let's get into it. Hope you enjoy. Okay. You grabbed a large beach towel from off your bed and stuffed it into a bag. You had already packed your water bottle for your upcoming beach hangout session. The stars had aligned and somehow everyone was free today. Miranda had set things up with several bubbly phone calls between you, Cove, and Terry to find a time to hit the beach. You were hoping that this would be a fun time together. Ooh, Cove! Oh my god! What the heck? Cove sat on your windowsill and kicked one of his legs into the air idly. He already had a swimsuit on, his towel was bundled under his arm in a misshapen ball. He showed up earlier that morning with a surprising amount of enthusiasm. He was chatting as you caught up to his preparation. But seriously, I couldn't find my swimsuit this morning. I looked everywhere. It had disappeared. I had no idea what I was going to do. Yeah! Oh my god. You totally didn't just lose your stuff again.
Seriously?
Very funny, Mina. And that was different. And I was 8. Anyways, I don't know why I was in the bathroom when I never put it there. He gave a small smile and readjusted the towel in his arms. You now could see that it had been folded at some point, but then rolled up and carried without much care.
I'm so glad.
But I'm just glad I found it. It would have been crappy to lose my favorite trunks. It was nice to see Cove so happy and comfortable in what he was wearing. He walked over to your dresser and mused about how you had picked out your own swimsuit. Luckily, since you were average height, you only needed to worry about finding the right size. When it came to the shape of your body, you had curves. And, you had a little muscle definition. Your build was toned and firm, with muscles that were there, though slight in size. You had gained more muscles in recent years. It was clear when compared to how you were when you were younger. You alright? Oh yeah, I was just thinking about some things. What things? Just myself and my body, really. His eyebrow rose at your admission of self-reflection. And what do you think? What did you think of who you were? You considered your identity further. Oh yeah, you've always been a female. Being called her was right for you. And
self-voicing innate,
no.
self-voicing disabled.
No, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. In the past, no, you were well endowed. Your boobs were a large part of your frame. Oh my god. You like the size you had. People had a lot of their identity wrapped up in their physical form. It shaped their self-image. You were comfortable. Okay? We're not confident, but comfortable. Your body was you, and it was a good one that you felt content in. You had pretty much always felt good in your body. It was that way through your main growing years, and now you were an adult, you didn't see that changing anytime soon. You focused on Cove again. He smiled at you and tilted his head, a question still in his eyes. He was waiting for you to come to an answer, but before you could, you had something to say to him. What do you think about me, Cove? About how I look, I mean. Cove smirked a little, his eyes taking you in easily. Fishing for compliments, Mina? You look great. Everyone knows that, including you, by the way, unless that's changed. I'm waiting. I said you look great. Coach shook his head. His hand went up to try to unsubtly cover a smile. I was kind of worried. You were so in your own head because something was wrong. Guess not. I'm glad. Hey, Mina. Cove gave a bent smile, putting to your arms. You're looking particularly toned today. Oh, thank you. He answered not with words, but a solid okay sign with both hands and the same cheeky smile. Cove suddenly blushed when he realized how boldly he complimented you. He stood by even if he was a little red. You were a little taken aback. It came out of nowhere. You glanced at yourself. You like that? Yeah? You hugged him. You hurried across your room and flung your arms around Cove. He chuckled back nervously after you got in a squeezing. I see you're putting those arms to good use. You cackled at his joke and hugged him tighter. When you both had gotten your giggles out, you let him go. Finally, you felt that was enough of that topic for one day. You went back to your original goal before you got sidetracked. You needed to pick what you wanted to wear to the beach. A Speedo? Screw that, you're going two-piece bikini. While you dug around in your drawers, you tried to think if there was anything else you were missing. Your board shirts? Or regular shirt? Did I just say short? When I meant to say shirt? Am I dumb? Just bring a regular shirt. With that taken care of, you held your outfit together and looked to Cove. He was tapping his toes on the side of the wall as he As he waited. You vaguely wondered if he thought that was a comfortable place to sit. You hoped so, given how long he'd perched on it. Regardless, it was time for him to go. You weren't going to put on your beachwear with him just chilling there. I need a change. Cove smiled, content with being kicked out. Alright. Cove lowered himself off the window and strolled past you to get to the door. He lightly brushed his fingers against your cheek when he passed by. I'll see you up front. Okay. When you were alone, you got undressed and put your swimwear on. You also checked your beach bag for the final time, and it seemed like you hadn't forgotten anything. You left your room and hurried down the stairs, ready to meet Cove. You made sure to lock your front door and walked outside. Cove stood in the road, looking down and scuffing his feet on the asphalt. When you shut your heavy door, he looked up to you and smiled. Hey. Hi. Miranda and Terry are going to be here in not too long. Terry even texted me earlier, saying she was mostly on schedule. Well. Why don't we just head down to the beach and wait for them there? We're both ready. That sounded like a good idea to you. You said as much, and Cove shot off a quick text telling the two of them where to be. Cove gave you a thumbs up after the message sent. It was a familiar path to walk, and it wasn't long until you reached the shore. Cove laid out his towel in the warm sand. You set up your stuff beside him and looked down onto the ocean. The rolling swells hit the shore methodically. You all had lucked out. It was a beautiful day. The sky was clear and the waves were good. It was a balmy summer day, but with a pleasant breeze to keep things comfortable. Essentially, it was perfect. Do you feel like heading into the water? Maybe just walk down the shore? Or would you want to go do something here? No, go in the water! That's what I'm here for anyway. Cove nodded, accepting of the plan. He kicked some sand off his towel absentmindedly. Yeah, sounds nice. You took in a deep breath and tasted the relaxing, salty air. Cove caught your eye and gave you a small smile. You chatted a little before a comfortable quiet settled over the two of you, content to watch the waves as you waited for the others. Luckily, it didn't take long until you heard shouts. You turned your head to see both Miranda and Terry running straight for you. Miranda was faster, making leaps and bounds across the sand. Terry followed in her wake, laughing with her tail clutched around her shoulders and flowing like a cape. Miranda started making her jumps more theatric and more pre-anarchist as she got closer. Cove waved them on with a bright grin. You laughed. They always found a way to make such a memorable entrance. The two of them officially arrived at Cove's and your setup, looking completely ready for an ocean adventure. They were already in their swimwear and were rearing to go. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna... Okay. Hey, Terry and Miranda, welcome to our beach. Hey. Hi. Hello, hello. She beamed and Miranda nodded with a smile. Oh, yeah. Man, I am so pumped. Yeah, I'm really glad this worked out. What have you guys been up to over here in your town? Cove, Mina, have we missed things? Cove blinked and then shrugged when nothing he wanted to mention came to mind. What have you been up to? The usual. Terry laughed and mentioned a few things about her own parents. Miranda brought up her family and shared some of the wild things her older brother had done. Terry then started talking about her morning and how she almost overslept since she had stayed up too late last night. She bounced on her feet as she spoke. But don't worry about me being tired today. You know, I ran on less back during school. Miranda filled in the group about her morning. Apparently, everything had gone smoothly. She met up with Terry on the way here and you knew the rest. Cove offered a suggestion to the girls. Hey, why don't we take this out to the water? Okay. Oh yeah, definitely. You felt pleased that Cove remembered what he wanted to do. Sometimes you could be thoughtful like that. Terry threw her stuff down in the sand and started running for the waves. Miranda was more careful setting down her things and waited for you and Cove. Cove tilted his shoulder to gesture over to the ocean. I've been looking forward to this. The three of you made your way down to the shoreline together. Miranda cartwheeled and Terry clapped. Soon all four of you were in the water. Cove swam out the furthest while Terry instigated a splash fight. There was rarely a quiet moment where someone wasn't laughing. Hours passed and the group had moved between different activities, some low-key and some more exhaustive. For you, it was another break time. You sat on your towel and sipped at some water. Your friends were hard at work bearing Terry's full body under a pile. Miranda used her arms to force up sand around Terry's sides. Cove worked on covering Terry's feet. You took another drink and closed your eyes. Eventually, a shadow passed over you, dampening the light that was still notable even behind your eyelids. You checked to see Cove had joined you there. He knelt down and digged around in the pile of assorted beach stuff in the middle of everyone's towel setup and pulled out the sunscreen. He took a seat next to you on his towel. He opened the bottle with a soft pop and began to reapply the cream. Hey. He ran his hands across his cheek to work the sunscreen in, and you might have checked him out a little from the corner of your eye while still sipping some water. What? Oh my god. Want me to get your back? Yeah, you could if you want to. I'd like that. Oh my god, Cove. Okay, I'll do it. Thanks. You scooted up behind your boyfriend and reached a hand around his front so you could squeeze a small pile of sunscreen into your hand. You rubbed your palms together, spraying the cream up more evenly, then began applying it softly to his shoulder blades. From there, you moved to the tops of his shoulders and the nape of his neck and down his spine. Cove was mumbling the entire time, but you couldn't make out what he said. He might not have even realized he was doing it himself. The tone of his voice and the look on his face got the message across just fine, however. He was happy you were too. After he and you finished up, Cove let out a comfortable sigh and looked off into the distance. But then he sighed again, this time in an exaggerated, disappointed way. You wondered if he was going to sigh again, even more dramatically if you didn't say anything. You chuckled. You had no idea what he was on about, but it was certainly going to be something. Cove shook his head, comically despondent. His frown didn't match the sparkle in his eyes. I'm just becoming another jaded adult, that's all. Now you were really confused. You waited for him to continue, and his next sigh did not disappoint. It was the most ridiculously sad sigh you had ever heard. Then he smiled a little. Mermaids aren't real. What? That had not been what you were expecting. He continued. You know, how much I liked mermaids as a kid? Well, merfolk as a whole. I really hoped that they were out there. I mean, the ocean's a big place, right? They could be somewhere. But the older I got, the more I had to accept it. They were just a fairy tale. He jerked his head over to the waterline and the rolling waves. They crashed against the shore and then drew back. This is a perfect beach for them. It's pretty and vast and never too crowded. If merfolk did exist, we definitely would have met one by now, or at least we would have heard of someone else seeing one, but nothing. He acted as though that result was a true bafflement. He let his head hang. I gotta let the dream go. You pretend to be shocked and disappointed. What? Mermaids aren't real? You looked at him and tried to get fake tears to start welling up in your eyes. I can't believe it. Cove chuckled a little to himself. I stilted off into the sea, his face still low. Maybe it's for the best. Let's say a mer person did happen to wash up on shore one day. He looked at you with a fox, doleful expression. I could have lost my girlfriend to their magical underwater world. Oh, yeah. Cove smirked triumphantly. I knew it, but I can't blame you. If a beautiful, kind mer person falls for somebody, I'm pretty positive that the sensible response is to turn around and say, no thanks, I'm gonna stay on land with a normal guy. Ah! Ah! Since this is all hypothetical, why not have you be the mer person? Cove turned his face to beam at you. He brightened immediately. Now we're talking. I'd be a good merman, right? I can see it. Cove's gaze was drawn back to the water with shining eyes. He was clearly imagining some world where he was a mer person who happened upon you here at this beach. He tried to picture what he could be thinking. It would be quite a lovely story. Then you heard Miranda screech. Your attention immediately switched over to your friends. You saw that Terry had gotten impatient and shifted her legs. The walls Miranda had been makeshifty building collapsed into a wet heap of sand. She surveyed the damage critically. We're gonna have to start over on that part now. Do you just want to give up on this now?
No way.
No way. The burial must continue. I'll try not to move anywhere. Okay, if you're sure. I'll try to fix this. Miranda started to rebury her, and then Terry shot her the thumbs up. She realized too late that moving her arm was a bad idea. More of the sand on her crumbled, and Miranda put her head on her hands. Cove caught your eye and started to drag himself up. Seems like we're needed. You agreed and followed him over to the girls. Miranda nodded you both with appreciation, and the two of you did your best to finish the job. You all worked out a system of using just to get enough wet sand to help hold the rest together. With 3 people, it didn't take long for Terry to be entombed. Terry grinned massively. Miranda offered high fives. The pile was officially done. Oh, yeah. Resembling the Kool-Aid man, she kicked herself out of the ground with gusto. Sand went flying in all directions, and a Terry-shaped imprint was left behind. Miranda yelled again, and Cove chuckled. There probably wasn't a better way to get out of it. The 4 of you continued to have a good time. You went on a shell hunt. Miranda managed to find the biggest, while you found the most colorful. Cove caught a tiny crab. Ooh, that's cool. You did a bit of everything. There was impromptu games, such as soaking up each other's company. However, after a while, you all had run out of water, drinkable water anyway. It was decided that you'd head to your or Cove's house. Things were gathered, and you started to cheerfully walk up the road. What next? I don't have anywhere to go, so it could be whatever. Same. I guess we could keep hanging out? Terry snorted and readjusted her grip on her things. Don't sound too sure there, Cove. By this point, you could see your house. It hadn't taken you long to make the trip. The conversation continued with everyone throwing out suggestions. Are people hungry? She looked from face to face in inspection. Cove and Miranda shrugged in concert. No one was overly opposed to it. Alright everyone, I'm gonna stop today's video here. So, that was a nice adventure. But, yeah. Anyways, oh my god, I forgot my intro. Oh my god, not my intro, my outro for a second. But lastly, you're Gem, and thank you for watching. A wonderful day, everyone. Bye!